Hi guys, how are you? It's the 10th of April 2020 and I'm just thought I would do this video because I feel it needs to be discussed. With the current lockdown that we've got in place, if everyone is beginning to struggle with their mental health, and people who don't understand mental health can't get a grasp of it. A lot of the time, if you've got mental health problems, you throw yourself into work or you go out and about to distract yourself from what is going on. And obviously, of course, if you are on lockdown, which we are at the moment here in the UK, you are forced to stay at home, and by forcing to stay at home, you have time to think, and when you have time to think, you can go one of two ways. You can either think about things that need to be done and the things you can achieve, or you can think about things that are not particularly good or not particularly au fait, and you end up going into a slumber and you end up going into depression. The depression gets deeper, and as the depression gets deeper, you then get into all sorts of problems, and be it the fact that you're basically your own worst enemy if you've got mental illness. I suffer from mental illness. I've got depression. I'm not afraid to admit that. And there are people that say to me, you haven't got depression, you're too happy. It's not a case of being happy. It's a case of when you are out in public, be it at work or be it socialising when we can socialise, or be it whenever, you put on a face, you paint your face on. I worked last week down at the Tunbridge Wells Hospital down at Pembury, and I was basically looking after a door, checking passes, checking appointment letters, helping customers out. I was happy, I was jolly as far as the customers were concerned, the staff, the patients, the security guards, but inside I wasn't. And it's really upsetting me. Yes, I am out and about, but only for work. I'm not out and about for any other thing else. I had big plans for Easter weekend. I seriously had big plans for the Easter weekend, and they got cancelled a little while ago. And I found myself being angry at the fact that they had cancelled it. They cancelled it when this coronavirus was when it had first just started coming around. And my reply was, well, why the fuck have they cancelled it? It's an outdoor event, blah, 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 blah. You know, at the end of the day, they had no right to cancel it. And I felt angry. And anger is part of depression. People do not realise this. Anger is part of depression. It's one of the ways that you release your emotions. You can show emotions in different ways, and I can be on the phone to someone and just break down and cry for like solidly for half an hour, 45 minutes. Might not be nothing that started it off, but I might do, and that is I call it a meltdown. After a meltdown, I feel shit for a little while, but as soon as I've gone to sleep and I wake back up, I'm fine. I try and live each day as if it's a clean page, but it's not always possible to do that. When you have depression, you think things that are not particularly good. And it's a very thing. One thing that does help me with depression though is a thing called APPLE. Acknowledge, pause, pull back, let go, explore. And this is what it means. Acknowledge. Notice and acknowledge the thought that has come to your mind. Don't react as you normally do. Pause and breathe. Pull back. Tell yourself it is just anxiety or depression talking, And this thought is a feeling. It's only a thought or a feeling. Don't believe everything you think. Also, don't always believe what other people tell you. There are people in this world that go, oh, you got depression, just snap out of it. Or, oh, you got depression, you're just milking the system. For those of you who have got depression, you would understand that that's not the case. You can't just snap out of it. Let go. Let go of the thought or the feeling. It will pass. You don't have to respond to them. You can imagine them floating away in a bubble or a cloud. And believe it or not, it actually works. I was skeptical when I first received this. And explore the present moment, because right now, in this moment, all is well. Notice your breathing and the sensations. Notice the ground beneath you. Look around and notice what you see, what you hear, what you can touch and what you can smell right now. This, then shift your focus of attention to something else on what you need to do, or what you're doing before you notice the worry, or something else mindfully with your full attention. It sounds stupid, but it works. It does actually work. And I have been using that for about 3 weeks now. And I found that I'm a lot calmer. Yes, I still have odd days where I get emotional. I have odd days where I get angry. I have odd days where I'm just a complete and utter arsehole to everyone around me. But that is what depression does for you. People say to me, oh, you're on antidepressants, you'll get used to that. I'm not on antidepressants. I'm on something called a mood stabiliser. And there is a difference between a mood stabiliser and an antidepressant. An antidepressant is not a happy pill, nor is a mood stabiliser. They're not, oh, take your happy pill and you'll be alright, you'll be singing and jumping around. No, you won't. An antidepressant will not take away all of the feelings, it will just numb them. The only way I can use to describe it is the fact that you are given when you're given a local anaesthetic at a hospital for a routine operation, and that's what all an antidepressant does. You don't have to fight mental illness on your own. There are groups on Facebook, there are helplines that you can chat to, but I find a lot of the time one of my biggest and most valuable asset that I have is a good network of friends, and most of them understand what I'm going through. The reason being is they either have mental illness, stroke, depression themselves, or they are what I call a lateral thinker. Somebody who puts themselves in that place and goes, how do I feel now? Why do I feel like this? And it helps, because just by talking about the problem can sometimes, because you're going to get feedback from other people. I'm in a group on Facebook, and I can put comments in there and I can get like 3 or 4 different replies. I'll give you an example. This morning I had a major blip. I woke up this morning, I was feeling really fucking depressed, really down, and really not with it. And I just posted my thoughts in this group. And one of the things that came to light, because basically it's hurting the fact that I can't see my parents. I didn't go over and see them very often, in a way. Predominantly because I worked on my previous job. I worked quite a bit at the time, and I relied on public transport. Now that I've got a new job and I've got a van, I can nip over there a bit more often. But I can't at the moment because my parents are of the age where they have to be in self-isolation. I feel horrible because I can't go over and see them. I feel absolutely terrible, because my perception of looking at it when I woke up this morning was, it makes it look like I don't care about them. And I put that in the group chat this morning for this group that I'm on Facebook. And I also put it to some of my friends as well. There's a group of friends in another group chat. In the mental health group chat, come back with, we're all feeling it. We're all, even normal people, whatever normal is, but even normal people who haven't got mental illness are struggling through this lockdown. And there were various other comments. And the one that come back from the one with the friends, just normal friends in the group chat, was, you've got to remember this is only temporary. You know, things will still be there when this is over and done with. The lockdown is not going to last forever. And it just changed my way of thinking about it. And it calmed me down. I am going to ring my parents at some point, have a chat with them, and just make sure they're all alright. You sometimes, I mean, and I've had to do it. I've had to use helplines. I've had to use Release the Pressure. I've used them more than once. There is no thing, and there's no shame in admitting that you have to use the lifelines. I know someone that uses Mind. I know somebody that volunteers at the RBLI. She uses the RBLI. She bounces off the staff at the RBLI. I've got a problem. I need A, B, C, and D. Things will improve, and hopefully when the lockdown is complete, I may feel a bit better. But just remember that mental illness will affect everyone. In everyone that has, I'll rephrase that, everybody that has mental illness, it will affect in different ways. There is no come out of the box, we'll take the instructions out of the box. How do you reset someone with a mental illness? Because it affects everybody differently. And it is treated differently as well. If you have mental illness, you're feeling low, you're feeling upset, message me or talk to me. I'm on Facebook. Just send me a message and I will try and help you if I can. If I can't, I can give you a phone number of someone that could possibly help you. So yeah, you don't have to fight mental illness on your own. When I first set up this channel, it wasn't meant for serious stuff like this, but with what's going on in the world at the moment, I think it's needed. Obviously, if you want to follow me, this is going to turn out to be a random channel with random videos. So if you want to follow me and see what I get up to, like and subscribe. And I will catch up with you guys on the next video.